Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of our Japanese Gardener's Cape. This week we are pruning one of our Portuguese laurels. We have some new Japanese azaleas that need planting, and our golden bamboo, which is a running type of bamboo, has escaped and we need to bring it back under control. I'm Teresa and this is our Japanese Gardener's Cape. I will be starting to prune back this Portuguese laurel again. This one here has been growing for several years in the garden. It has been pruned pretty much every year, and still it's growing, you see up there, really too high again. So they do grow quite vigorously here where we are. And the reason we're using this Portuguese laurel is because we do like the leaf color and leaf texture. That's very close to what is usually found in Japanese gardens. And the other reason is that camellias, which are very often seen in Japanese gardens, do not grow here, and because the climate is too cold in winter, and this is why we use a lot of this Portuguese laurel as a replacement for camellia trees or bushes. So let's get started with this one. I will start at the top and determine the height I want first, and then I will work my way down. For this one here, because I'm going to be up there, I'm going to be using my secateurs because the branches are bigger and a bit thicker, so shears will not be good to use for this one here. And also my ladder, so I can reach the top. So the top is pretty much done. I just need to have a look later from the terrace so I can see it and see if I didn't forget anything. You saw it with the drone footage. That was the best for you to see what I did up there. Basically with these Portuguese laurels, I do not plan on pruning a certain type of shape. We do have quite a lot of those, and everyone looks really different. So what I'm doing, I'm just basically following the natural shape of the bush. So with this one here, you see the top is rather flat. I'm also trying to keep it at that height you can see now, so that it doesn't grow too much into the ginkgo tree. And now I'm working my way down to the sides here. So I just want to get like a round kind of transition coming onto the sides. Around here and back there, I'm probably not going to be pruning that much. It's just those few bits really here, working my way around. So guys, that's the final cut for this laurel. We checked it from all sides and from upstairs, from the terrace where we can see like the top of it. So it looks good. Doesn't seem that I forgot anything. Now let's move on to the next little job for today. So in this area here we have a lot of rhododendron, and we planted a couple of years ago a few little maples. This is one of them. But looking at the surroundings, you can see everything obviously is getting bigger every year. This maple here, this red one, has grown really tall since it's here, and also the green ones and all the rhododendron. So we came to the conclusion that this one little green maple right here is actually not really right anymore for this spot. You can see this is getting a bit too narrow here. This is almost starting to grow together, and the maples we planted down here, especially those, we want to grow tall actually. So this is why we decided to take this one out and keep this space just free. And we currently do not have a spot in our garden, so we're going to be planting it in a pot for now and see if we find a spot or if someone will take it. Okay, so this is out. I tried to be generous with the roots, but this one you see doesn't have that many roots yet, so that's okay. So this is the pot I'm going to be putting in just for now. What I will do first, you see all the moss that we dug out. So I'm just going to be taking that off again, just the surface here really, and putting that back. I'll put it to the side for now. Then I will get some dirt to fill that hole, and then I'll put the moss back on top of it. So it hopefully looks like nothing has ever been here and no one dug a hole. Alright, now I got a bucket and my spade. I'm gonna grab some dirt from our compost to plant this one in the pot and also to fill that hole in. And now putting the moss back. It won't fill it all out, but it will grow on those patches. Okay guys, so now we're planting the azaleas. We got them recently, and autumn time or springtime are good times to plant azaleas. So we have here two different types. So basically they have just two different leaf types. So all these azaleas are Japanese azaleas. They all bloom in pink to tie them in with the ones we have. And this one here has smaller leaves, and this variety here has a bit larger leaves, as you can see. So this is just a different cultivar really. Now what we want to do, so we have, I just show you the Michiko azaleas here, and you've seen them probably in previous videos. These Michiko azaleas, unfortunately in our plots, I cannot get them to grow properly. I think one problem is that this area is too shaded out. Even though azaleas are kind of known to prefer shade or partial shade, I make the opposite experience with ours. So the ones that grow in full sun are the ones I was worried about most, but they are growing the best actually. So we had to take a few out because they were dead, they didn't survive, and those are the remaining ones of the Michiko azaleas. They also bloom in pink. These here, they look, well, okay for the moment, and we'll see how they develop next year. I will also prune them next year, but in order to start filling this area out, I don't want to buy the same again. This is why we got those. And these, as you can see, they have have a bushier kind of growing habit. So the Michiko, they are more, they do not get, or they are not as dense as these hopefully will be growing. At least for now they look like that. So this type here with the larger leaves, those 6 azaleas I will be planting in between those Michiko azaleas. And then we have those here, the 3 with the smaller leaf type. And these ones I will be planting on the other side here. So basically to fill out that little patch you can see here. Also these azaleas, they are Michiko ones, so they are doing all right here. It's not that much shade as the other ones have, but I'm hoping that the other ones grow a little bit better here in partial shade. So I'm going to be starting with this area here, and I will place the azaleas first to see how they fit best. Maybe one here, and maybe one here close to the pathway, something like that. I think that should be fine. Now I have a bucket of water here, and what I do, I put the azaleas in water before I plant them, as opposed to watering them later on, because I think the azaleas, they get soaked a lot better like this, because their soil tends to be a little bit dry, and so this is why I do it like that, so they get the most moisture before they're being planted. Then I have a bucket here to put the soil in. I'm gonna take out, and I put the wheelbarrow down there to empty the buckets with the soil and drive that away later to the compost. So then let's get started with the first one here. I think that's a nice spot here. So the holes are dug, now we're ready to plant. And so what I do here now, I grab those carefully at the top and I put them in water for a little bit. So they can soak, they can actually stay in there for now. This is rhododendron soil, which is an acidic type of soil, because rhododendron and azaleas, they prefer acidic soil. And we do have in our garden actually slightly acidic soil anyway, but still for rhododendron and azaleas I use this type of soil for planting as well. So I've filled up the hole. Now this should be ready to go. So you see now it's all soaked and ready to be planted. So I dug the holes as deep as I could here. I couldn't really go any deeper because of the tree roots of the plum tree here. So, but this will be okay. Now they can go in. Okay guys, all the azaleas are in. Now the last thing I'm doing is I sprinkle a little bit of the dirt I took out onto the planting soil. And I do that because the dirt we have, or the soil we have, is a loam soil. So that means it retains a lot of moisture. And also the other reason is that if this is sprinkled on, you see just a light layer like this, it looks like it has been there for a longer time. So it doesn't look like this freshly planted area. It integrates into the rest of the area a little bit better. So this is why I'm doing that. All right, here we go. All done. So guys, we're here with our last job for this week, which is bamboo control day. So what does that mean for us? We're growing here our golden bamboo. This is a running type of bamboo. That means the shoots, they spread further as opposed to on clumping type of bamboo. If you're interested in more detail in bamboo, I'll link my other bamboo video up there. And we grow this bamboo without any root block because we want it to spread in a certain area. And so basically we have defined a border, pretty much like a round line going around this bamboo here, where we say to this point, so maybe to here for example, approximately, it can spread and that's okay to grow, but no further than that. And because we do not have a root block, we need to control the bamboo growth every year. And we typically do this towards the end of the summer or early autumn, so when the growing season of the bamboo has stopped. Now what I will do, I have my spade here and I will start going along this defined border of the bamboo growth, just basically putting the spade in the ground, and in this way I can detect or feel if there are any roots growing through. Bamboo here where we live doesn't grow very deep, so maybe just about 10 centimeters or about 3 inches deep, so it's fairly easy to detect any shoots that are in the ground. So I'm going to start from there and work my way all the way around the bamboo and see what we find this year. So guys, here's our first one. You see, as you go through with the spade, you kind of detect a little bit of it's like a crack. You hear it a bit. And here's our first one. You see only, what's that? Like an inch below ground. And it is going this way here. So what I do here now is to go along the growth of this rhizome. And you see here, bamboo is very hard, so you can't really get in if you detect one. Okay, that's interesting. I can go through it all, so I'll take the grass off a bit. Okay, so and here, this is what happens a lot, which is the rhizome spreads. So you see here, one grows this way, and there's another one growing that way. You see it started to spread. So those two here. This one here is very short, that's the end of it. So the ends, they look most of the time for golden bamboo like this, so kind of, I don't know, stubby. And other bamboos, they may have a real tip at the end, but it only got to here, so that's okay. So we're gonna take that out, and this one here I need to follow. That may or may not be longer. Oh, there's a worm. Let's see how far we got with this one. And once you're digging along the shoot, it's really easy to, you see, just to lift it out. And I always loosen the soil, and then it's easy to remove. So here we have the other end of this one, and now I will just cut through here because it can grow to here. That's okay. Normally this works with the spade. There we go. And now I just pull the rest out. And that's it, that's the first one removed. And this is how I'm gonna be working my way around the entire bamboo. So on this one here we didn't have a lot of, or actually we had no shoots coming out outside of our border, of our defined bamboo border this year, which makes me a bit suspicious. But you see, it doesn't necessarily mean that the bamboo puts out a new cane or a shoot coming out from the ground. You see, like here, it just grew across the border, and if I don't do this, controlling it, it's undetected and it keeps growing that way. So that's why it is important to do that if you're growing bamboo without the root block. So let's keep going from about here. There it is. Here we go. Next one out. And now we're putting the soil back. So you see, I lift out these pieces of soil, and then if you are careful with this and just put it back into place as it kind of was, and then just step on it, the damage is really quite minimal. Look at that, guys. That's a pretty long one. I think this is maybe the longest one we've ever had. So this is the growth on the ground from 1 year, because we did this about a year ago as well. So this comes from one of these canes. You can see here probably those over there, I would reckon. And this is why it's called running bamboo. There you have it. And you see here, this is a very nice tip. So if this is not dug out, that would continue that way, in this case, in the next growing season. And you see here we had a split. They like sometimes to split, and the split went that way, and here's the rest of the bit. So that's that. So now let's fix this battlefield here. Another one here, and this one you can actually see coming out here. So I'm gonna continue the rest of the way here, and then we'll continue with the arrow bamboo, which is starting here, but at the end we got a little part to dig out. This section of arrow bamboo we're actually gonna remove completely, because we let this one spread a little bit too far. So here is kind of the border we're making, so those can stay, but this entire section can go. So all the moss we have here at the bottom, I'm gonna take some of it off carefully with the spade, and then we'll put it to the side, and then I will start digging in here to see where the roots are coming from and where they're going. There it is. Now just those two left. So for this section here, I'm gonna get a bucket of dirt from the compost to fill in here a little bit, and then you see all this moss we saved. We're just gonna put that back on and press it down, and then it will look like new again. And here, look, this is what we dug out from this arrow bamboo. You see a few sections coming from the main plant. And here you see on those, you can see clearly the end of the shoot. So this is how it looks. And yeah, that's all of it. So there's not, you see root-wise, there's actually not too much root to it. So they have those running shoots on the ground, and then they build these little side roots. This is how it looks. Okay guys, so now we're putting the moss back, the one I took off before, and I'm trying to, you see, also keep these pieces I took off in one piece. Still, sometimes you see they fall apart, and I'm distributing that moss a little bit over this area. And then I'm just pushing it down, that it kind of reattaches, and hopefully in a short period of time this will all be overgrown again by moss. I think that's pretty much it. Then I always clean off the soil from the moss, you see, as good as possible, and step on it a little bit so it stays attached. Okay, right, and that's it guys for this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell as well to stay up to date with our videos, and give us a like if you like the video. Have a good day guys, see you next time, bye!